Alright, here we go. Bryce is right. Back again with another video for y'all. Thank y'all so much for supporting me, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Y'all got me up to 1,500 subscribers now, boosting it up in the algorithm, so thank you so much. But let's go ahead and hop into this video, and we'll catch you in the next one in a couple of days.
Is more complex, and I've already spoken about this to some extent, so I will say it involves the notion of future human time travel. And look, it's only hypothetical. I'm not saying it's real, but if what I'm being told about that is true, then yeah, I would be somber too.
Why is that somber? Why is the fact or the potential that it might be humans in the future terrifying?
Because of what it. Well, I think I wouldn't be giving too much away if I said that. You think about it. Why, since 1947, has there been a phenomenon taking an interest in the human race, particularly in nuclear weapons? Why is something or someone apparently trying to send us a message about nuclear weapons? Why is it that nuclear weapons are being shut down by what Slide 9 refers to as remote sensor disassembly? What's it trying to say? What's coming? Imagine if, and I'm only speaking hypothetically here, imagine if future humans knew that if we continue on the path we're going, there's going to be a nuclear war or a conflagration of some time.
All right, let's call this the Terminator theory. Someone's coming back from the future to keep us from destroying ourselves. What do you make of this?
I operate under the time travel rules that you can't actually change anything by going into the past. You'll just cause whatever you were trying to prevent. These are the rules of time travel. So this is not Back to the Future rules, where you can change things and like the photograph starts to melt in front of you as you change things, which doesn't make any sense. These are lost time travel rules, where they go back in time on the island, but it turns out all the things that happened over the course of the island's history they were just involved with them and they'd happened that way, and that's the way you do time travel.
Okay, well, many other people believe that when you change time, you create multiple alternative timelines,
it's like the Avengers.
Could make this a legitimate theory if this is where we're going right now.
We're in a branch timeline. Something did go wrong to create the timeline we're living in. We're in the darkest timeline from Community.
But, yeah.
Yes.
Let's pull up the X timeline.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, so look.
So actually,
here's what I like about it.
Go for it.
I do like, because people keep asking the question, you've been one of these people, you know, why do we see all the UFOs in the United States?
What do you mean,
why are they all in the you doubters, you unbelievers. Why do they all appear in the Southwest, yada, yada, yada. I like the explanation that there's some link to our nuclear development. I did see Oppenheimer yesterday over the weekend. I am in like an A-bomb sort of a mindset. So I like that it offers some explanation for the frequency of sightings in that region of the world. And so it's a narrative that I think makes a nice little bit of sense. Of course, there's no proof of the aliens existing in the first place.
Whales coming back in time to have us do more nuclear to save them from the wind turbines.
Well, that is literally the plot of Star Trek 4. In Star Trek 4, Return of Spock, they're in the Star Trek future with Captain Kirk and all of them, and an alien ship comes to Earth, and for the first time in like thousands of years, and the last time they came to Earth, it was no humans, it was just whales. And so when they start trying to communicate and all the whales are extinct, they go to like blow up the planet. And so to prevent it from doing that, they have to go back in time to like the 1980s, and Captain Kirk.
Interesting.
What is that? It's a bird, it's a plane, no, that's big trap. Send it back to NC straight from Cali. Trap got chicken, but it's Dalton.
Dalton, are you seeing this? Bro, my heart just sank.
Must be working together.
Dom, did you just see that? Dude, I got all of that on video.
This happened right before the Hawaii fires.
Yeah, I do have a comment posting saying the fire being caused by laziness is what they were saying. I've been finding videos in this video.
As you can see over here, all these power lines have snapped now. We were looking at them earlier. I was just telling the boys on the fence line that these were going to snap, and sure enough, they did. I've been in the industry of people losing their homes due to fire, flood, and certain emergency services. But I need you guys to hear me out. You don't see what's going on. I feel something is bigger. I've been on Maui the last 9 years, and I know the geographical location and how everything works. There was no fucking way that a hurricane missed Big Island, went to Maui, and didn't flood them, didn't give them, crazy, other things, but it caused fires. It caused fires in not only on Maui, but it caused fires in the most precious parts of real estate in Maui. Lahaina Front Street is worth billions. The Hawaiians that have been holding out and the Kanaka have been holding out for years, not wanting to sell their property in Lahaina due to these big $1 million companies. It is not a coincidence, I don't believe, how in the most precious parts of Maui, Kula, Lahaina, and Kihei, that the locals that are standing strong and do not want to give up Oprah Winfrey's fucking view up in Kula that the Hawaiians are holding out on, that the fire was going to, the Hawaiians and the Kanaka are holding right there on Front Street.
That's crazy. Prayers for Hawaii.
Things that we can see when contemplating this arrangement. And so if you can see that, and you can see that, I'm going to use some of my cards here in order to try to help us to see some things. And again, when I align this properly, I believe in that mirror, you can see once again the same thing that I was talking about, 3 reflections that's seen in the mirror. So if you were standing there, looking in there, that's what you would see, is 3 reflections of yourself staring back at you. And what I actually have here to show you is the card that got named Time. And the Time card is structured in exactly this way, that there are 3 different ways that I am seeing reflections in this mirror, because we're going to remember that this is the space facet of the time mirror, and that became the time facet of the time mirror. And in there again, 3 reflections of self that we see, and so 3 possible interpretations, 3 models of reality, 3 reflections of self, all of which we're going to take a brief look at here. I know time, this is a paradoxical thing to say, but time is a little bit of a constraint today, so we're going to take a brief tour of what I can show you with this. So I'm going to move this down here so that we can expand on the principles, but we're going to remember that this is why time is being represented in this way, because of the 3 reflections. And so ultimately, when we're here and we're looking into this mirror, I'm calling time, incidentally a mirror that's in front of your mind, I have a space-time gravity experience. And so this becomes the roots of what I experience in what we call life. And believe it or not, actually accounts for everything that I experience in time. And so everything that I experience in what I call life. Now, again, this was the space facet of the mirror. So space got aligned here. There was a convention for the cards as they were read from left to right, as I defined this one as the space facet of space-time gravity. Now, it turns out there's another way to say space-time gravity and another way to say it in exactly that order so that it aligns perfectly with these concepts, and this is a representation that I'm imagining we will all be able to identify with. I know it as past, present, and future. And once again, believe it or not, that is another way to say exactly the same thing in exactly the same order. So in other words, the dimension of space is synonymous with the dimension of past, and interestingly enough, the experience of gravity is related to our perception of future. And here in the middle, we have ultimately our model for reality that says that everything is time. And here in the middle here, we have the card and a misunderstood dimension, it would seem, in this place, that I call present and some people call now. And as you can see, the
The present card itself is depicted in imagery here, mimicking the time card because there are three pieces coming together to form this experience. And when we take this one step further,
discovered the ruins of an ancient civilization off the coast of St. Bernard Parish.
He claims there are large mounds underwater that may have once been the site of a lost city thousands of years ago.
Paul Murphy reports local fishermen have long talked about strange and unexplained things happening in that area.
The Chandeleur Islands are a chain of uninhabited barrier islands located in the Gulf of Mexico, 50 miles east of New Orleans. But 12,000 years ago, before a dramatic sea level rise at the end of the last ice age, this area may have been dry land.
3 different search areas.
Retired architect and amateur archaeologist George Gillet believes the site, now underwater, was once home to an ancient civilization. He dubbed the city Crescentis.
What's down there is hundreds of buildings that are covered with sand and silt and that are geographically related to the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Giza is a city in northern Egypt where ancient pyramids and the Sphinx are located. Gillet claims to have found mysterious mounds of granite under Chandeleur Sound. Granite is not native to Louisiana or Mississippi.
Somebody floated a billion stones down the Mississippi River and then assembled them outside of what would later become New Orleans.
How you doing? Just cruisers, man. Sounds crazy shit. Just crawling at me like it's goddamn. What's up, dude?
This guy found a weird humanoid creature locked in a cell in Romania.
They got this really weird creature caged up. It looks like some sort of deformed human. I'm gonna try to release some footage of it.
Nu l-ați încercat? Să nu l-ați încercat, nu te apucă. Vezi că e plin de sânge? Da, cine știe, da. Să ne omoare din ce-o fi făcut. Oare din ce-o fi rău. L-a vărât. Du-te și lasă-ne. Fii femeie, fii bărbat. Aia nu mai contează, să ne ferim de el. Hei, opreți telefonul! Opreți telefonul!
That's how you get shot out here in Texas.
This creepy video, the man taking the video appears to be searching for his friend in a dark warehouse of some sort. As he is looking, he is surprised when he sees an inhuman face staring at him from behind some objects. The face turns to look at him. The being has a grayish...
There it goes. I see it in between the trees.
Yeah, there it goes. Coming right over top of the trees, isn't it?
Uh-huh. It'll be right over top of those trees. I saw it.
There she goes, George.
There it goes.
That's brighter than usual.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that's it.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Right over those trees.
Oh, wow.
I saw it when it went through that hole.
I don't remember it being that bright and that big. Look at
I
that.
don't either.
What was that part? That must have been one of the boosters.
Oh, look. There's two. It's going off into two.
Hey, is that trouble or not? They're not having trouble, are they? That's trouble of some kind, George.
Really?
That's trouble of some kind, isn't it, or not?
There it goes again.
It looks like a missile was going after it. Oh, here we go. Boy, looks like the hole.
The science community is ignoring a lot of the things that we're looking at, and so normal people are going out and doing experiments. And one of the experiments has turned up an amazing fact that we've not been told, and it destroys the whole idea of this heliocentric system, and that is the moon. Now you can actually measure the temperature of the moonlight next to the temperature of the shade of the moonlight, and you'll find the moonlight is colder than the shade, the opposite from the sun. So the moon is throwing out its own light, and that light is the opposite from the sun. Now, that tells you that it's not reflecting the sun's light. It's producing its own, and its light is different from the sun's. So, you know, the scientific community have not told us this, because they won't tell us this, because it destroys this idea that the sun is, is lighting up the moon.
Everyone knows, like, if you're in sunlight, it's colder in the shade, right? So if it's 100 degrees in the sun, it's 90 degrees in the shade. You go to the moonlight, like, especially in a full moon, especially if it's high in the sky, the moon is its own independent object. It is not reflecting the sun rays. The sun is its own object. Also, about the same size, which is, again, coincidentally, why the moon fits so perfectly in front of the sun during an eclipse. We always thought it was coincidence that even though it was 400 times farther away, that it was also exactly 400 times less diameter, which is why it fits. And the other weird thing about the moon, which everyone thinks, oh, it's just a coincidence, is that we never see the other side of it. It's constantly perfectly rotating, so we only see one side of the moon. Exactly one side. It's not like we have like a quarter of a degree every 5 years or half a degree here and there. It's always the same side. There are no coincidences when it comes to this system. It was deliberately built, but I think it was deliberately built to be detected. And I think we were naturally supposed to figure this thing out maybe as late as the 1970s, but the government figured it out first, and they have been spending a heck of a lot of money trying to keep it a secret.
We're downtown Flint. Downtown. So check this out. That tree is clearly 300 years old. Probably 200. But look at what we found inside. What is this? I got some markings on it, but I don't know. That ain't natural. Anybody got any thoughts? Let us know, leave some comments. Very curious, and we're very interested. Because Flint was founded in 1807. So how old is that thing? This thing's pretty big. It goes down pretty far.
That's why the Sasquatch and Yeti won't have anything to do with human beings now, And we also say that when they begin to reappear and show themselves and begin to communicate with human beings again, which is what they're in fact doing now, certain select people, we say, are being touched by spirit, and the Sasquatch are being guided to them to give them special messages about the closing and the end of this fourth cycle, because there's a beginning, another cycle that's going to be starting in the very near future for us. And so the Sasquatch are beginning to reveal themselves and beginning to reveal information and secrets, if you will, that they've long held for themselves, for us, about ourselves and things, and what we need to be prepared for and what we need to be doing you know, to help heal this Mother Earth, this planet and things. Unfortunately, a lot of people, excuse me, a lot of people equate the Sasquatch and the Yei, you know, with the ETs. And I've had a lot of people ask me about that. And from my understanding of it, from them themselves, they watch these ETs because from the first ones, they remember in their genetic memory, they remember when they first came. And when they went out to see them, went out to greet them, basically, the first thing that happened was the ETs enslaved them, you know, and tried to use them, you know, to do their labor, and they tried to use them for food and everything else.
I understand they're vegetarians, is that correct?
Yes, they are. They've never been known to harm or eat a human being or anything else in their. That doesn't mean that they won't defend themselves and stuff, or that they don't get angry, but basically they're very peaceful people, and they are our ancestors. There's also some misunderstanding. I always talk in terms of Sasquatch and Yei, and there's actually two different.
I think that's how the gorillas are.
Huge. That makes sense. And what I find really weird is that all the lights, these lights are on. So that tells me that there's still something active here, and it kind of just looks like someone's gone up but got cut off and buried. I don't want to talk too much, just because I can't really anticipate if anyone's going to be around here. I don't hear anyone, but the lights are on, and I have no clue what I'm stepping into. When I was here on Wednesday, this, I think, was about as far as I got. I haven't gone any further than this. I sort of chickened out and ran back up to go home, get some more space to record my phone, since I was really late. I feel like one of these is going to be a hallway or a room or something. Because what else? What is the purpose of these things? See something shining. I'm just realizing I'm going to have to walk back up all these stairs. The chlorophyll, right?
There's a big reptilian. I need to see a picture.
Can't really see. My eyes are all screwed up from the light on the phone. Okay. I can't tell. Does it go off to the right? Dude, I'm fucking shaking.